All right, we're ready to continue on with LSU. We'll ask Coach McMahon for some opening comments, then we'll take questions just for the student athletes, excuse them, and then we'll finish up with Coach McMahon. So, Coach, would you begin?
Yeah, thank you. Start with just a couple comments here on Vanderbilt. Congratulations to them on the win tonight. But I don't know their staff great, but just following them after their loss against Alabama back January 31st, kind of a line in the sand moment for their team. And credit to them for coming together. I think 9-1 since that game. And they've always been really good on the offensive end of the floor. But I think their defensive improvement since that game has really allowed them to go on this great run and get in the NCAA tournament conversation. So that's a tremendous credit to their players and Coach Stackhouse. And then secondly, to lose a player of Liam Robbins' caliber, really have not missed a beat these last 3 games, and that's to take nothing away from Robbins, deservedly, an all-SEC player. But again, just admire what they've been able to accomplish here in February and March. Finally, for me, sitting here with KJ Williams, it's just been a tremendous honor for me to have the opportunity to coach him over these last 5 years. He's what college basketball is all about. He's what coaching is all about. And I'm incredibly thankful to have that opportunity. I thought our players as a whole, we came down this week or came here to Nashville. I thought we competed. I thought we were more connected on the defensive end of the floor for the most part. But unfortunately, just in credit to Vanderbilt's defense, we were unable to score the ball efficiently enough today to give ourselves a chance to win.
All right, we'll take questions for either of the student athletes. Let's start in the middle on the aisle.
KJ, you were down, I think, 7-8 at halftime. You came out and scored the first 7, I think, to get your team back in it. What were they trying to do to you a little differently with Robbins out tonight? How did they play you differently?
I think they came out with their 4-man guarding me, so it's a much smaller player than the last game. I think they had Liam on me mostly the whole game. I still came out pretty successful, but it was kind of tough for me to go out and get buckets because most of the time I'm always having the screen, and then they'll switch back somebody else up on me. Then it's just hard for somebody else to just come back and just go score.
Other questions for either of the student athletes? Go ahead. Do you have another one?
Trae, y'all got back in the game. Like I said, y'all were down 1, had a chance, I think, a shot at tying it. But Vanderbilt just kind of went on a 12-0 run after that. What did they just kind of force their will on you?
Yeah, they kind of was playing hard, the whole game. And, they was just out-toughing us and, playing through a lot of contact and things like that. They got to some loose balls throughout the game, too. So, it was kind of tough. Kudos to them. They had a great game, so.
Other questions for either of the student athletes? All right, we'll excuse you, fellas. You can return to the locker room. And we'll continue on with questions for Coach McMahon. So if you'll raise your hand, we'll get one of the floor mics to you. Let's go ahead and start right back in the middle.
Matt, now that it's over, I know you haven't had a lot of time to digest it, but just the entirety of the season and how it kind of crashed tonight after a big win last night.
The season as a whole, it's probably a long conversation and more than welcome to have it. But just in general, I think clearly disappointed in the overall result of the season. I know you asked me, one of the first questions when I was blessed to get to take this job is, what are your goals? My goal is the same every year. I want to help our players and our team max out and become the best we're capable of being. And whether that's 15 wins, 18 wins, or 31 wins. And I don't think we were able to get that accomplished this year. And that's clearly my responsibility. But I also, there's the reality. Also, I'm well aware, and I'm not an excuse maker. I don't blame anybody or complain. The reality is we didn't take over for the 22-win LSU team that went to the NCAA tournament. We took over a program in crisis, 0 players, 0 signees. Really had to start at ground zero and try to put a team together and do our best moving forward. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get it done at the level I would have liked to in January and February. We'll take quite a few positives from the year. Number one, I'm excited and thrilled about the opportunity to coach at LSU. It was a privilege getting to watch KJ Williams come in and be an all-SEC player. There were moments, the comeback at Wake Forest, largest comeback since 1996 at LSU, the home win against Arkansas. But at the end of the day, didn't get the job done at the level I would have liked to have gotten it done, and we'll learn from it and look forward to moving into the future.
All right, other questions for Coach? Do you have another one? Go ahead.
After getting it, I think KJ got you within 1 early in the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes of the second half. After the way you won last night, did you feel like you were back in it? And what did Vanderbilt do something different at that point to kind of get the tide back in their favor?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, KJ got those quick buckets there. I thought their defensive game plan was good. It really didn't guard some of our guys who struggled to shooting the ball tonight, and it made the floor really crowded. And at the end of the day, in college basketball, you got to have elite guard play. And I thought Manjan at the point for them really took over the game with his speed and quickness off the dribble. I thought Lewis came off the bench at the backup point and gave him terrific minutes. Goes 4 or 5 from the floor, hit a couple big threes, gives him 11 points. Lawrence has been a really good player all year, but since Robbins went out, he's really stepped up his game to another level. He goes for 22 points on just 7 shots. So overall, the efficiency of their guard play, really dictated that second half especially.
Other questions? Let's come to the left side in the front.
Matt, what do you think this team, you said you're starting from ground zero. Where's your focus and what this team needs to get to the level that you expect it to be?
Yeah, I think, I'd love to sit here and tell you that the foundation is in place. That was the goal going in, to have the culture established, a winning culture to move the program forward. But the reality of it is, when you finish in January and February the way we did, oftentimes you learn what not to do. And you learn what corrections need to be made, whether that's in roster construction, culture, offensive, defensive schemes, preparation, whatever it might be. And so we'll certainly address all of those areas and make the improvements necessary to move the program forward.
All right. Do you have another one? Go. Yeah, go ahead.
Unrelated to LSU, Ja Morant has been under the microscope in recent weeks and months. What is your reaction to some of the things he has gone through, and have you had a chance to speak with Ja?
Yeah, those conversations are private. I love Ja Morant and his family, and we'll always be here to support him as he navigates these very challenging times.
We've got time for one more question. Anyone? All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.